Hello, hello, hello. I believe we're live. I hope everybody's doing good. It's a wonderful Thursday today. So I'm just hopping back on here again just to say hello, just to hang out for a little while. We had a really good stream yesterday, and I'm hoping that we can have a great chill hangout stream today as well. Yesterday we made the Be Right Back screen that you were just looking at, which is very exciting, and I was able to put it into the streaming software pretty easily, which is also awesome for me because I was a little bit worried it was going to be like kind of difficult. I'm not really used to using streaming software. What I do normally when I record my videos is I just use my phone and I record and then I send all the footage to my laptop and then I edit it all from there. But the way I'm doing this setup, actually let me talk a little bit about my streaming setup today. Oh, but first, we are once again having a half full cup of water, and then I have a Lipton white tea raspberry today because yesterday I had a soda, so today we're having iced tea. A little bit healthier, or else so I'll tell myself. At least I think it's healthy not to have soda every day. I digress. A little bit about my streaming setup. So I have in front of me my MacBook. I have a MacBook Pro 14-inch screen. I didn't want the bigger screen. I got offered bigger screen, but I don't like big screen sizes, so I didn't go with that. So I just have a 14-inch screen, and behind that rather, I have my phone set up. And what I learned recently is that if you have your laptop updated to past the OS 13 or whatever, then you can use your phone as a webcam and it doesn't have to be hooked in, like to the laptop. It can just do it like through Bluetooth or like whatever, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I just know I got a notification that I could do it, and I was like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna do it. So that's been helpful because I only have, for this laptop, one of the frustrating things about it is that it doesn't have any HDMI ports. There's just none, which is really strange. I don't know why that decision was made, but here we are. So I do have one lightning to lightning to, is it HDMI or USB? I don't know. I don't have one of them. Then it's the one I need. I think it's USB. LOL? I might have told you wrong, might have lied to you earlier. I think it's USB. I don't have any USB, I think I have one HDMI. I think that's the truth of it. So I have one USB though, and I have one lightning cable to USB, and I have 3 lightning ports, but I only have one like adapter. And so I have that adapter plugged in, and that plugs into my iPad so that we can have the drawing part and you can see what I'm drawing. So it's a little bit of a scuff setup. And then I have my headphones plugged in because this is the mic. I actually can't hear the music that you can hopefully hear, but I can't hear it. So I don't know how to fix that yet. Like I said, I'm really new to OBS, which is what I use for this streaming setup right now. My brother is more well equipped with it, and he was like, I'll teach you, but then he didn't, so that didn't happen, but that's all right. I've managed just fine on my own, but what I'm trying to say is I did figure out how to put in the Be Right Back screen that we made yesterday, so that was pretty productive of me. I was pretty happy with that. And today, I'm hoping to do a stream starting soon screens that we don't have to use the OBS Be Right Back all the time, because I think that that's a little bit confusing if you pop into stream right as you got a notification and all you see is like Be Right Back, and it's like, oh, well, I haven't been there to be back in the first place. Whatever. So we're gonna do a stream starting soon screen, and at some point I'd like to learn how to use live splits so that we can get a little bit of a timer going, but that's kind of, it feels a little advanced for me. So haven't done that yet. But before we like start doodling, start drawing, start getting ourselves together, we're just having a little bit of a chill chit-chat session right now. Let's see, what all is new in my life? I am hopefully starting an internship for a few weeks at a local hospital near me. And the person who I am doing this internship through or with, or however you want to say it, person who's like coordinating it for me has sent me a bunch of studies to read about the research that they're doing, which is what I'll be like internshipping for. And so I spent a little bit of the morning reading through those. I'm a little bit small brained for that, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, we're making progress. I think that that's something that IB taught me, was like reading and comprehending. And so sometimes reading means rereading, and rereading means Googling, and that's all right. I also did a little bit of work for my online summer course. I'm taking it through a community college, just one course, because I don't want to have to do it when I'm at school. So I did a little bit of work for that. I'm kind of done for the week. Actually, because all I ever talk about is school, they like knocked me down like several points. The professor knocked me down several points on my most recent like discussion because of like dumb reasons. They were like, you didn't answer all the prompts. And I'm like, you didn't list all the prompts when you asked me to answer them. So, hey again, hi, welcome back. How is your studying going? Hopefully you were productive yesterday after stream ended. I didn't get much done. I did start reading a new fan fiction, and I did a little bit of editing on mine. I need to actually do some big girl editing before Saturday, because that's when I'm posting the next chapter. And I haven't made any changes to the most recent one I've written, so that's something I'm gonna have to do at some point. Studying chem now. Yeah, chem was my weakness in my first year of university, and I think it'll probably continue to be one of my weaknesses. Just as time goes on, it's just not my strong suit personally. That isn't to say it's like bad or whatever. I think I didn't have any chem in high school, like whatsoever. All I had was biology and environmental science. And I had a little bit of physics/chemistry, but in reality it was kind of neither of those. And so I didn't have any chem going into university. And so that made it really difficult. So I really struggled with like my first semester of chemistry, and then my second semester of chemistry, I had a much better teacher who I fit with a lot better. And so then I did a lot better in chem once I got a better teacher. So that was good. That was productive of me. But I haven't looked at chem once since the summer. So that's gonna make organic chemistry an interesting time. Yay. I start organic chemistry in the upcoming semester, and everybody who's ever taken it ever at any school, no matter where you are, says it's awful. So I'm really looking forward to that. Same, good teachers make all the difference with chems. Good teachers makes all the difference with like all the subjects, I think. I think part of the reason why we start to enjoy subjects and enjoy learning is because we were like encouraged to. And so I think that having a good teacher in any case, but especially like something you're struggling with, really makes all the difference. But I definitely had a teacher that I clicked with a lot more for like my second semester of chemistry instead of my first semester of chemistry. My first semester of chemistry teacher, she expected me to have background knowledge that I obviously didn't have. And my new teacher in the second semester really taught to students who maybe didn't have that background knowledge, which was me. So I was really happy. It made it a lot easier to do that. What else was I saying? Oh, yes. So I am still trying to think a little bit about stream starting soon screen intros, but I think it might be cool to have the letters like come up across the page and then disappear. And so we might do something like that. It was pretty easy to do the be right back screen, and so I'm not thinking I'm gonna have any major issues with the stream starting soon screen either. Yeah, I have a chem tutor that def helped me so much. Yeah, I wish that I was helped by tutors, because generally at like my university, tutors are not very good, and the TAs don't know what they're doing. And so I hadn't found a tutor that helped. But it was like, I don't know, it was really hard for Gen Chem 1 because my friends understood it a lot better than I did. And so I was the one struggling and they weren't struggling, which is fine, but it was like they didn't know how to help me because I just couldn't grasp the concepts in the way my teacher wanted. So I ended up going to my friend's chemistry class as well. And so I went to both of our lectures every week. And that helped a lot because her teacher was much better than my teacher was. Sometimes that's how it goes, I think. I put this in the fridge like an hour ago and it's not cold. Which I guess why would it be, but it's still a little disappointing. I meant to put some in the fridge last week and then I did not do that. So that was really good. All right, I'm in kind of a chill hangout type of mood. So I think we're gonna just jump right over to a little bit of a doodle kind of bit, a little bit of a moment. Always staying hydrated. I especially need to be worried and conscious about my hydration because of medical issues. And so I actually track my number of ounces that I drink. And I recommend people do that for themselves too. Even if you're not aiming to hit a target like I am, I think it can be very helpful to be conscious of how much water you're drinking so that you can be sure you're not just drinking one thing a day. Because I know people who definitely do not drink enough and it can cause health problems. And so while I try and hit a goal every day, I don't think you necessarily need to. I think it is good to track. I have a Fitbit, so I track with the Fitbit app, which is really funny, I think, but it's been helpful. I've done it for a few years now. I recommend. You get used to knowing how many ounces are in different things. So like bottles of water and like juice like this or tea are usually 17. The Pure Leaf ones are also 17. Some brands are 16. This cup is 16. It's like a little skill that you develop. But most conventional water bottles are 17 ounces. And the reason why they're all consistently 17 for the most part, obviously like the Fiji and the Smart Water, they're a little different. But the reason why they're mostly consistently 17, I don't know why originally, but now it's that people can use like packets of flavoring in their water because the packets are meant to be put in 16 ounces of water. So I always think about it that way. But for me in particular, I mostly drink out of reusable unless I'm buying flavored stuff. Then we also make iced tea. I actually think one of the best things that you can bring to college is if you like iced tea, bring an iced tea infuser. I have one that you just put the leaves and the water in, and then it has a filter so that you can pour the tea right out from there. I think that's 10 out of 10 recommend. Iced tea is so good. Iced tea is my favorite. I really for my first year in uni especially got into doing different types of iced teas. And so I would buy different kinds of leaves and put them in my little tea infuser and stick it in the fridge overnight. And then I'd have iced tea the next day. And so that was my goated big brain strat moment that I did. And I'm going to continue to do that because it was so useful. That was not a flat line. Yeah. Am I gonna do flowers again? I don't know yet. I might just do sparkles instead of flowers this time. I like how the letters got smaller as I went. I don't know. I don't know that I want to do flowers again because I want to kind of differentiate it. I might put flowers in the outside, the perimeter or whatever, and then have sparkles that kind of flicker. I think doing like a minimal amount of slides like I did last time was really smart because it made it really easy to export into OBS. And so I'm probably going to do that again. Since I'm not like getting help or whatever, I don't have like a team. That would be pretty silly. I'm just doing things that makes it easier for me. That'll be cool. Yeah. Like the thumbnails, I've been doing little sparkles and I think they look super good. I don't know that we're going to have a different thumbnail every time though. We might alternate thumbnails a little bit because not that they're hard to make, but just I don't want to, oh, I did it on the same slide again. Okay. I don't want to have to keep doing it. It would be really, there, we fixed the problem. I keep putting everything on the same layer and that's an issue. That makes it difficult. Here, I can actually move this over to be the middle. Every time I spell the word stream, I wonder if this is actually how you spell the word. I'm not good at spelling. And it's like, I don't know, it looks too much like steam. Is this how you spell stream? I'm gonna Google it. It is. I don't know why that was such a hurdle for me to get over here, but it's like, you know, when you like think about a word or you listen to a word or you look at a word or you write a word too many times in a row and then suddenly it doesn't seem real anymore. Spelling's annoying, and then also my brain just starts treating things like they don't actually exist. Like, it's like the words phase out of reality in my head and it makes it kind of confusing because I'm like, I have a little bit of an existential crisis about it. Recently, well, not even recently, I watched so much Point Crow, like Breath of the Wild. I got into Point Crow, like his content back in 2020. Actually, 2019 is when I first started watching him, but I really started watching him in 2020 when I didn't have anything to do. And I've been just like watching so much of his content recently because he started playing the game that I'm really into, which is Tears of the Kingdom. And so it's like my whole brain just fills in his jokes sometimes, and that's probably not healthy of me. It's not even parasocial, it's just like he fit my sense of humor so well that now it's like starting to infiltrate my brain. There, they're a little bit low, but stream starting soon. That'll be so good. I don't like G's though, because when they hang down, I can't write words here. Yeah, that's fine. Look at us. That was pretty easy. My brain sometimes mixes up numbers. I don't know that I have a problem with numbers necessarily. I do have a problem though, like, I feel like words and letters, your handwriting's really nice, thank you. Yeah, I do all my like stream stuff handwritten, and I feel like that I should maybe not do that, but I just think it's cute, and I think it's easy to make it look different or unique. My brain, I struggle when words like don't match the colors that I associate with them. Or like numbers don't match the colors I associate with them. And it's really... Hey, welcome in, eMovie Box. My name is Bryn. I'm just kind of chilling. If you follow me and you're wondering why you follow me, it's because I'm the girl that does all the IB content. But I'm just picking up streaming for now because I have some time and we're just chilling. So we're making a stream starting soon screen because this is my second stream and I feel like I should have a starting soon screen. So welcome in, feel free to hang out. We're just kind of chilling, hanging out, vibing. What was I saying? Right. I think that one of the things that makes it difficult for me to learn other languages is when words that mean the same thing have different colors. And that sounds absolutely insane, but like, what's a good word? Like, right. The word right is kind of like a lime green color, right? Like to right, not right or left or correct. Like to right is kind of a lime green color. And so I like have to think about the Japanese kaku, which is like to write, also in that sort of a color, or else it makes it much more difficult for my brain because I'll get really confused about if they mean the same thing or not, which again, sounds like I should be put in an institution, but I think it is a name, like it is a thing that people have. I just don't know that I have that thing or if I'm just insane, but that's all right. See, I just don't like that this one has this gap and the other one doesn't. It's kind of cool that you associate colors with words. I tend not to, but that's cool. Yeah, I think it's called synesthesia, but I've never been diagnosed with that, so I don't want to say I have it. I just I feel like I emotionally associate words with colors, and then sometimes when those words don't match up with the colors, like in other languages, could you not do that? It's confusing, and it makes it more difficult. See, like if I put a space between all of them, it looks fine, and that just takes up a lot more room. That's chill. That's cool. And I think I want to do little sparkles this time, but I think I'm also going to try and do a layer in the background because I think it would be cute. Putting the soon before the G and then adding an exclamation mark. I don't know, I kind of like it like this because what I might do is I might have like the animation also be like stream starting soon and then the stream starting soon goes away. And so I kind of like that they're in like a line. Let's see. I have all these colors. My palettes on Procreate are actually ridiculous because I'll make one for each thing, but then I won't label them. Like Wilda of Zelda, I know what that's from because I labeled it, but like the rest of these, couldn't tell you. But this one is just like the thing I use for everything. So that does make it easy. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna try and do. I think that's the move right now. Let's see, I have all these, so I downloaded a bunch of brushes. What's my nationality? I'm American. I live on the East Coast of America. Where are you from? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to. I have all these floral brushes that I downloaded a long time ago, but then I just don't use them very often, which is a little bit sad, but that's all right. Here we are, we're just... Oh, okay, that's a lot darker than I expected it to be. Oh, I know why, because No, I don't know why. I'll just turn down the opacity and then no one's wiser. No, it still looks like dirt. Because the purple is so bright. Well, we'll leave the background for now. We'll work on the sparkles instead. The sparkles I know I want to do in white. Finland! Oh, wow! That's exciting. That's very different from America. What's one thing you like about Finland? Or do you not like it there? Oh, that's really thick. Oh, probably because I just used it for this. I always do this for the first line. I make it go too far, not far enough rather, and then it doesn't look like a coherent shape. But that's all right, we can fix that. Let's see, what was I talking about? Right, my major's in university right now. I'm gonna be a second year university student next year. And My majors are neuroscience and Japanese. And so I learn a lot of vocabulary for Japanese. And sometimes the words, like the meanings, don't match the color that I associate that word to be in English. And so it is much harder for me to learn the vocab when the colors don't match. And so sometimes I have to say, like for example, right and left, right is red and left is blue. But in Japanese, it's migi and hidari. And migi is green and hidari is like orange. And so they don't match the colors at all. And so I have to think about it backwards. Which, I don't know if sometimes it's helpful, but sometimes it's a little bit frustrating like that. Also, that's not straight. There, we did one. I actually might tone down the color of the background too, because it is a little bit brighter, and so the sparkles aren't going to stand out as much. I was also talking about Point Crow. Right, so I watch Point Crow streams a lot more now that, A, I'm done school for the summer, but B, now that he's streaming Tears of the Kingdom, which is like my current obsession. And so I've been watching him a lot more, and so I feel like I'm picking up a lot of his humor again, whereas he's always been my precise brand of like dark humor, but I feel like I'm picking up more of his like inside jokes and like the way that chat speaks. And it's probably bad of me because I was talking about like I have an internship coming up where I'm not going to be able to talk like I'm a streamer or like I'm in Twitch chat. And so it's located in Europe and our country is kind of depressed in my opinion. Depressed? That's not what I would think from somewhere like Finland. I feel like you guys have it going on over there, especially in Europe. Here in America, we just have school shootings. I would like to move out of America at some point. I don't love it here. I don't necessarily know that I'd go to Europe. Like I said, I am learning Japanese, and so I feel like I'd probably go there first, and then decide if I liked it enough to stay. And then if not, I'd come back to the US, I guess. But the US just has a lot of political things going on that I don't love. And we have school shootings, and I don't love that. But we are more accepting of like different types of people than other countries are. Please, moving out of the US is the best decision you can make, speaking from experience. Yeah. I would love to get out at some point. I think I have to graduate first, but then I probably plan to move out of the US, at least for a little while. The problem is like, if I wanted to go anywhere permanently, I'd need to get like citizenship, and that's a little bit frustrating. I'm sorry for you for the America stuff. Yeah, America's a little bit of a place to be in currently. I feel like I don't know when to stop with these sparkles, so I'm just not going to. But I think that there's also good things in America. Like, there's definitely like room to grow for minorities here. We're very accepting of people for the most part. Whereas I think that those types of people are not necessarily historically accepted in other countries. I think that we're like the most forward-thinking country, but there's still a lot of problems. And so it's a double-edged sword. I think most countries are a double-edged sword. It's just about weighing what you think you want out of a country or out of living. So like for me, I value safety. And so I don't know that the US is someplace that I'd like to be. And what I don't value as much is individuality, which is why I think someplace like Japan, where it's a little bit safer, but there's less individualism, is a better place for me personally. That being said, I've never lived in Japan, so who knows? Oh yeah, that looks better when it's dimmer. I like the sparkles. They're cute. So now I have to animate. I think I'm gonna animate probably both the sparkles and the stream starting soon. So I'm gonna just get rid of the blank layer though. That way I can just work on these two. Sparkles look amazing, thank you. I think they look cute. I think they especially look good with the background a little bit dimmer because they pop, the white pops a little bit more. Yeah, after we do the stream starting soon, I think we're just gonna move into a little doodle. I took a screenshot of a character and I think we're just kind of gonna mess around with drawing him or working on proportions or whatever, just for funsies. Nothing too deep, nothing too serious. It's kind of a chill day today. I'm tired. Usually on Thursdays I go figure skating, but this week that's not happening, and so I'm just chilling out here instead. Which character? Link. Yeah, the obsession is a little bit much for me. I have in the past drawn like Hualien from Tianguan Sufu, or like other Dame characters, and I really like drawing their clothes. But the problem is that I don't... Hold on. Pause, champ. Problem is I don't have the, like an idea for that right now. Okay. Well, once again, we're running into the problem where that's way too many frames per second. Hanfus are so fun to draw. They are fun to draw. And I haven't gotten the opportunity to wear hanfu. I'm trying to get my friend to buy me one. Oh, because this one's in the wrong spot. I'm trying to get my friend to buy me one. But I own yukata from Japan, so I have worn that, and it's really fun to wear. You feel really cool. I just love, like, traditional clothing from... Specifically, I love Japanese and Chinese, but I can also get down with, like, some Vietnamese and some Thai and some Korean. But specifically, like, Japan yukata and kimono, I've worn both. It's really fun to wear. You just feel awesome. And in terms of, like, hanfu, it's really fun to draw just because there's so many variations. Like, we love that. But I feel like I need to pull reference photos when I do it, and I don't have any reference photos saved, and I feel like it's a little bit sketch of me to, like, pull up Pinterest on stream. I thought America didn't have these kinds of stuff going on there that you just mentioned. Yeah, I feel like usually outside of the US, I think the issues are diminished a little bit. My hair is falling out. We're just gonna take my little pin out. The issues are diminished a little bit outside of the US. But inside the US, it's a lot more clear, like, the issues that we have going on. Probably should have muted for that, sorry. It's a little bit more obvious that we have these kinds of issues going on inside the US, because I feel like outside the US, it's just talked about the good points. But inside the US, like, it feels scary. I mean, it's not like Ukraine. Ukraine is in a much more serious position than the US, obviously. But it's still frightening. It is fun to wear. I have a hanfu, and it's so cool wearing one. Oh, you have one! That's so lucky. Like I said, I wanted my friend to order me one when she put in an order from, like, Taobao or something, and she added it to the order, and then she never placed the Taobao order. So I don't have one yet, but I will own one eventually. And I own yukata. My yukata is like purple floral, and I have a yellow obi. So I really like that. I just have a little bit of a mild to moderate to very severe obsession with like the ancient clothing styles. Or traditional, I guess. I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to hide this one so that we can look at the animation. That's cute. Do you have favorite animes? Okay, so this was a conversation we started yesterday that I wasn't prepared for, and now I feel more prepared. The answer is yes. The answer is I have too many. So this could be the whole rest of the stream, I swear to God. So I'm like a shoujo girl. So I don't get as much from like the action-based anime as I know some people do. But if you give me like some shoujo style, like romance style, like, oh, I'm all about it. And so in particular, Fruits Basket's my jam. The redo, not the old one, that one's a little much, even for me. But the redo one, that one's really good. Obviously, my profile picture is Violet Evergarden, and I do love Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden's really good. I went and saw that movie in theaters when it came out, and that was a really fun experience because I loved the show, and so I was very thrilled to get to go see the movie. I did cry. Violet Evergarden, big recommend. In terms of like movies, since I just mentioned movie, Kimi no Nawa or Your Name, banger. Absolute banger. 10 out of 10 recommend. That was the first anime I watched. And so I just started out strong, and it's been chasing that high ever since. That's been like the dream, is just to go back there. And you know what? I got really close with Suzume. I went and saw Suzume in theaters, and it really did something for me. Because I think, because Suzume did more for me than Tenki no Ko, or than Weathering with You. And I don't know that I can really explain why. It's just that it hit me a lot harder. Everyone cries with Violet Evergarden. It's just one of those animes. So true. Yeah, I bawled. I've seen it I've watched the whole series like 2 or 3 times now, and I've cried every time. You just can't get out of it. You can't escape it. But it's worth it because it's a good show. How many slides of this do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So we'll just do 3 iterations of the sparkles, and then they can just rotate through those 3 iterations. And I don't have a problem with that. Let's see. So Makia, When the Promised Flower Blooms, is another one of those movies that just like, I think it is underrated. It's underrated because nobody's watched it. But it's like, I bawled. And I don't cry very often. Like, I'm not a big person who cries a lot. And so when I cry at something, especially like a TV show, like, you know, it's deep. And I like could not keep it together with Makia. It's such a big recommend. And nobody I talk to has ever seen it. And it makes me really sad because it's really good. So Makia When the Promised Flower Blooms. I mentioned Orange yesterday, but Orange is really good. Given we talked about yesterday a little bit. Given's really good. Banana Fish I watched in 2 nights between the hours of 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. And in case you were wondering, I don't recommend those hours to watch that show. Did you see me jump when I deleted that instead of duplicating it? Actually, I don't want to duplicate. Yeah, we'll do the last iteration of the movement and then we can... Do you have friends? Yeah, I have friends. I have friends in real life and on the internet. And I have friends who like anime. Oh, slice of life? No, we're slice of life lovers here. Dude, I'm such a slice of life person. I think part of it is like, because my life is so hectic with school, that when I can just kind of zone out and chill and watch a slice of life and not have to think about my life and think about other people's instead, I feel like that's so relaxing. Why do you hate slice of life? And you can't give the excuse that it's boring, because it's not. Like, I don't know. Give me a more... Okay, we're going to talk about Clannad. Clannad gives me problems. If you haven't heard about Clannad, I won't spoil it. But I will say, there's Clannad and there's Clannad After Story. Clannad After Story, you would assume, and it does, takes place after Clannad. It's basically the second season. I don't know why they gave it another name. Don't worry about it too hard. Clannad After Story... Oh, I shouldn't do these all at once. Clannad After Story is like... Actually, I will do them all at once, because I'm a rebel. Clannad After Story broke my heart. I could not handle it. It was so good. And Clannad the first season, especially like the first arc, it did have me snoozing. I didn't like the character that they were focusing on for the first arc, and I didn't like what was going on, and I didn't agree with how they were approaching the problems. But then Clannad After Story sent me. Not humans, you know. What? Emu says, well, I don't have anybody. You don't have anybody. My biggest advice is okay, story time. Now you've triggered me. Weebs are not humans. All right. Say what you will. So in 2020, I didn't really have any close friends. And obviously we were going out for, it was COVID, right? And so I didn't have any time to, I guess I had too much time was the problem. And I didn't have any friends. And I don't just mean like I didn't have any friends that would hang out with me. I meant like I didn't really have anybody to talk to. And so I went on Discord. And if you go on Discord and you find communities of people who share the same interests as you, you will have friends. It will happen. I have met friends on Discord who I'm still friends with and who have gotten me through so much. And I think that that's like the secret. And I wish I had done these sparkles differently now. And so I'm going to go back and redo them all. I think the secret to having good friends is finding them. And they don't necessarily always have to be in real life. Like some of my best friends are online. But I think that finding people who have similar interests to you, who are near you or around you or in the same time zone or able to talk to you and who are interested in becoming friends as well or have time to spare, I think that's the key to becoming friends. And I didn't have friends really until COVID, when I started going on Discord to make them, because I didn't know how. And I made temporary friends and people I was friends with for a short amount of time. And I hung out with those people sometimes, but I never stayed friends with them for a long period of time. And so when I went on Discord and I had all this time to myself and I had all this time to try and be friends with people and I started putting in effort, that's when I really learned how to have friends. So yeah, I think that's the secret. It's just finding people who have common interests and just trying to connect on a deeper level or on a more basic level is one of the best ways. So you might not have anybody now, and I feel like I didn't have anybody for a good 16 years, but you'll find friends. You'll find people who have common interests or common, I don't even know how to say it, just who want to spend their time with you. But I didn't have friends for a good 16 years, and then I made internet friends, and then I went to college and I made college friends. And now I feel like I have friends. Yeah, and I have friends who have really niche interests with me. How old am I? I'm 19, so I just finished my first year of university, and I'll be getting ready to go into my second year. So, not that I can be the source of wisdom. Let me actually rename these two before I duplicate them. Layer 3, that's fine. Not that I'm the source of all wisdom, but I feel like I do. Okay, sure, you can be layer 2, 3, 2 / that's fine. Duplicate. Okay. Sorry, we are focusing for a minute here. So that I can add these. I hope I counted correctly. And then we go back to doing one. So back on topic with my favorite anime. So I watch a lot of like Japanese anime in specific. Actually, we're going to pause again so I can watch this. Okay, I actually want to duplicate the blank one. Oh, and I didn't add any stars to this one. Dang it. Well, that's okay. Actually, it's not okay. We'll duplicate this one, and we'll delete this one, and we'll delete this one. And this one will make this one not have the word soon, and then we'll use a smaller brush to do that. And then we'll move the stars to make a fourth pattern, I guess. Or 4 and 5. This is more complicated. This would have been easier if I had thought about this in the first place. Another good anime, I think, if you like the kind of action adventure, is The Ancient Magus Bride. The Ancient Magus Bride is on its second season right now. I own all of the manga in English. It's good. It's good. Ancient Magus Bride is where it's at, I think. Okay, now that I've successfully done these stars better, we can make a fourth pattern. And we're actually going to duplicate it to make a fifth pattern. Yeah, that's fine. Horimiya, if you like romance, like I like romance, Horimiya is really good. In terms of more romance, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've watched a lot of romance anime, but I don't know a lot of romance stuff. Also, okay, chill. Let me pull up like my document of anime and we can go through. Oh, Skate the Infinity. If you haven't watched Skate the Infinity, what are you actually doing with your life? Like, why are you watching me and not that? Go watch that. That'll eventually get a second season and I will be so happy when it does. I didn't watch Skate the Infinity as it was airing, but I did watch it as the English dub was airing, and so I was a part of like the watching the English dub go way too hard group, even though I wasn't watching the English dub. So that was really fun to be on the internet at that point in time. It's like, I feel like there's internet things that happen where it's like, wow, I got to be a part of that. And for me, that was one of those moments where I got to be like, wow, I got to be a part of that. And I got to watch like the internet explode over the Skate the Infinity dub. Good God, people went crazy. That was such a time to be alive, to be honest. Oh, let's talk about a silent voice for a minute. I love a silent voice. I love that you start out watching silent voice and you think this is going to be romance. This is going to be a little bit of a lame romance. And then you get halfway through silent voice and you're like sobbing. And then you get all the way through silent voice and you're like, this was never a romance at all, was it? I was lied to. And it's really good. So if you've never watched Silent Voice, perhaps consider it, because it's worth a watch. It's worth a pickup. I'd say that's a good one to get into, but only if you are okay at like the trigger warnings. Like I would look up the trigger warnings before you get into it, because they can be kind of heavy. But like, I know that for me, I don't have a problem with trigger warnings. It's almost better for me to watch something that is quote unquote triggering, because I feel like, not desensitized to it, but like that I'm able to like agree with it almost. Like I'm able to sympathize with what's going on. Did I already do this? We'll do it again. No, I guess I did. Okay. Hello, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Right now we're making a stream starting soon screen because I have been streaming for like 2 days now and I feel like I need one. We're probably also going about this, for the record, in the worst way possible. And I'm aware of that. That's not a secret. But we're doing it on Procreate, and we're just kind of hanging out. So I'm talking about anime. So I just talked about Silent Voice. But yeah, I think if you're trying to get into anime, either go Ghibli, go Silent Voice, go Kimi no Na wa, Your Name. I think those are like my top picks for like easiest anime to get into. And then once you're in, okay, so here's the mistake I did when I was trying to watch anime myself, is the first series that I watched was Re:Zero. So I mentioned this early in the stream. I don't like action adventure, and I don't like shonen. So I don't know what compelled me to think I will like Re:Zero, but it's what I watched next, and I hated it. And it's honestly kind of a miracle I continued to watch anime after that point, based on how much that I hated it. Because I hated it. But I did, and I'm glad I did. Violet Evergarden, always a classic. Always a classic. Your Lie in April, I watched, and I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was, like, crazy. Your videos on Japanese expansion have helped me a lot. I just got a 7 on my paper 1 in history, so thank you so much, and please continue. I'm so glad that they were helpful. Congratulations to you on hard work and getting a 7. That's crazy. I'm so happy for you. Yeah. Like we were saying on terms of the anime. So like I said, I watched Your Lie in April, and it was good. And I don't think I cried actually, but like, I don't think it's the banger that people make it out to be. I'm just going through my list. I keep a list of anime that I've watched and like my thoughts on it because I have bad memory. Nagiasu, Alone in the Sea. Pretty good. I was like a little bit surprised because it's like kind of quirky, kind of out there. But it was super cute, and I thought the characters were cute. And I thought that, I don't know, I just thought it was like unique and different from other things I'd watched up until that point. Anohana, okay. We're going to talk about Anohana. Anohana, it didn't do it for me. Anohana didn't do it for me. And I am in the minority. People love Anohana. And it was good. Like, it was interesting, but it wasn't like incredible. I don't think I cried at Anohana. The music was really good, but I didn't think it was like that good. All right, let's watch this so that we can look at it. That's cute. I actually might slow down the settings to like 3.2 or 3.2. Am I shadow banned? No, you're not shadow banned. You just got timed out for repeating messages that weren't kind. But you're chilling. I just don't know how to read out a smiley face, yo. No, I'm happy with this. Look, we did a thing, and it didn't even take 2 hours this time. It only took an hour to do the one goal that I had. And I think, I don't know why that sounded so southern. I think that this is good. No. I think that 2 frames per second is probably what we're going to go with. Cute! Claps, everybody. We did it. We did the most basic thing that we could have done today. The one goal that we set out to accomplish yesterday. Awesome, guys. Good job. We're not ending stream, but I am going to click over, and I'm not going to walk you through my whole Procreate to get there. And I need to open my photos to get the little reference photo that I'm going to use. And you don't need to look at that either. You don't need to look at that either. So, now that we've kind of done I'm twirling. Yes, I have a pen in my hand and I'm twirling a hairpin. This is where we've gotten to in my life. Now that we've accomplished what we set out to accomplish, we are going to just doodle and just chill and probably keep talking about anime, or if people have questions, you're welcome to ask me questions or give requests for topics to talk about. Again, chill, hanging out, vibes. It's all cool here. So, but I am getting our image set up so that I can have a reference. Import image. What? Did I not send it over to myself? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to send it to myself then. I thought I did. I did not. But that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Pretty easy. But yeah, okay. So I watched Anohana and I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. And then I watched The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. And then I watched Toradora and I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. So I watched like several shows in a row that I thought were like good, but not like stellar. And so I like went through like a little bit of a lull. I watched like Tsude, something like that. Like that show, and it was fine. I don't remember any of it, to be honest. And then I watched Orange, and I was like, bro, we're back with it. That was a so good show. That was so awesome. And I was so glad to be back on like the enjoying what I was doing train and what was going on. So this is the little image that we're gonna draw, because I just like my little man. And I thought this pose of him was really cute, because he's just a little fashion queen. And I love that for him. But it does mean it gives me like half the space to work with on the page. So this is just like my history of watching anime, I guess now is what I should have called the stream. So I watched 5 centimeters per second, which I thought was, again, back with the theme of, I thought it was good, I didn't think it was great. Which was a little bit of a yikes. Because people like that one. And then I watched Hyoka, and I thought Hyoka was good. Hyoka's like a mystery, like kind of solving one. And if you've never watched Hyoka, I recommend it. You should try it out. I think it's a little bit more underground than some of the other things that I've watched. I love this expression of him, by the way. My art isn't good, so we don't need to comment on how good my art is, but we can comment on how adorable Link is in this photo. Because he's just a little fashion queen with his little outfit, his little hand on his hip. But yeah, this is my current obsession, is Tears of the Kingdom. I was into Breath of the Wild when it came out, and then now I've just been riding the Tears of the Kingdom train like no other. And he has these like pointy ears that come down. And that's really cute. This is going to be way too big, but that's fine. We have the power of God and minimizing the size of the things that we're looking at on our side. So that's pretty good of us. So I went through a little bit of a lull again. I watched Excel World. I watched my teen romance comedy Snafu, which Oregairu was good. Oregairu was good. I liked that one. Then I watched Skip Beat, and I thought Skip Beat was good, and I actually rewatched Skip Beat because I thought it was like really unique. I'm gonna erase this ear and we're going to turn him the other way. Because I like this face shape, but I think it should be facing the other direction. What was I saying? Skip Beat's good. I think that the thing that bothers me about Skip Beat the most is the fact that they ran that show as though it was going to get a second season. No cap, no secrets, and it didn't. And so it was like not as good as it could have been. It was still good. Obviously, I watched it twice, and I would have considered owning the manga if I didn't hate the style of the manga, which is not the mangaka's fault. It's just an older style of manga, and I struggle a little bit with the older styles. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a little bit of a struggle bus for me. Let's see. This ear's real pointy, actually. I feel like it needs to be flatter. TBH. That's real sharp. He's gonna cut a man. If we keep it that sharp. But yeah, I liked Skip Beat. I don't know if I'd recommend it just because it needed such a second season to such an extent, but it is really funny, and it's got a good comedy sense to it. And I consider that one almost slice of life. Like, it was definitely not shonen. I don't know what else it would fit into. It was, I guess, comedy is the only other place it could fit into. But that's all right. He also has... I actually haven't checked in this game if he still wears his earrings, but we're going to give him earrings anyways because I think it's cute that he wore them at all. Does he still have his earrings in Tears of the Kingdom? That would be kind of tea if he didn't. Can you imagine if he was wearing these earrings for all of Breath of the Wild and then Zelda came along and she was like, that ain't it, Chief. And then he took them off? That would be so sad. No, baby's allowed to have some earrings. Even if Zelda says you can't, I say you can. Also, I haven't looked if he's actually wearing them or not in Tears of the Kingdom. So he might be, and this might be a null and void conversation. Yeah, and then this side can have the little bit of flatter ears. Well, that doesn't look good, but maybe it doesn't need ears because it's pointed enough. I also always give my people these like over-the-top eyelashes, which is really not cute, but it's just how it works. It also helps if I draw my lines flat. So the problem is that I like rotate my iPad depending on how I'm drawing. And so it ends up being like the kind of situation where I don't draw straight lines. Actually does not look like anything, but maybe that's the goal. I don't like it, but it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. It's more of like a commentary on the human face more than anything, but that's all right. It's kind of funny. So, no, what was I saying? LOL. In terms of anime, right? I watched Sword Art Online, which was a time in my life that I don't wish to repeat. Like, it was kind of good, but like in kind of a weird, backwards, not good kind of way. And I don't know how else to describe that. Like, it was such a unique show to watch. I watched that time I got reincarnated as a slime, but I only watched the first season because I didn't like it. I thought it was bad. I watched Real Life, and I thought it was fine. I watched a lot of things after that. I didn't even talk about Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice, banger. 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 Oh my God. As like a little figure skating person, Yuri on Ice has my damn heart. Oh, I hope I don't get shadow banned for cursing. But that's fine if I do. We can deal. It has my whole heart, is what I'm trying to say. Do another hour or so. I don't know if we're gonna do it with this face though. So this is what I do, is I'll do like half and I'll just delete the whole thing. That's why I don't turn out paper, or that's why I don't turn out artworks. But it is a little bit fun just to go through them and just do it anyways. So, the story of how I got into anime is not anyone wants to hear, but it's the story I'm gonna tell, because I'm here and I'm talking and it's my place to talk. So I was really into, we're gonna take a little break from the art actually, I need a minute. The story of how I got into anime is not even tea. It's not even interesting. It's just like low-key, basically. It's what you see. What had happened was I liked Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then I found people who also liked Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then I went to one specific person in that group who liked Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I was like, you should get me into anime. And they were like, you should watch Your Name. I was like, okay, I can watch Your Name. And they were like, I think you'll like it. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know how to pirate shows, and I didn't know where to get shows legally. And so I watched it on a Facebook posting, which is so ridiculous that I watched it on Facebook. Ew. No, never do that. But I did, and I watched the whole thing, and I loved it, and I cried, and I was like, oh my God, if this is anime, then what have I been missing out on my whole life? And so then I fell really deep into anime. I watched a lot of the Ghibli stuff first. Ghibli. I go back and forth between Ghibli and Ghibli. I think in Japanese it's Ghibli, but the person who introduced it to me said Ghibli, and so I don't know. And so I just say whatever I want, is the tea here. And I watched a lot of the Ghibli stuff. I haven't watched it all, but I watched like the classics, and I loved them. And they didn't always make me cry, but sometimes they did. And then after I found myself liking Ghibli, that's when I watched Re:Zero. And again, I don't know why I started with Re:Zero, but I did, and it was a mistake. Re:Zero isn't a bad show, it's just not for me as a demographic. It's very gory. It's like isekai, like your classic isekai plus gore plus hot girls plus L plus ratio plus loser. I don't know. I didn't like it. And then when I started falling into more of the romance kind of vibe, then I really started to enjoy it more, because I don't know, it was just like, it was so cute. And I think the way that the Japanese, or like really any non-Western media, but specifically in this case, since we're talking about anime, how it handles romance is very different from how Western media handles romance. And I think that it's really nice. I think that they portray romance, not as an end goal. Like, romance is portrayed in a way where getting together with a person and falling in love and starting to date isn't the end goal. And so frequently in a lot of the shows that I've watched, especially anime, but like even outside of that, like when you talk about like C-dramas or K-dramas or whatever, the end goal of the show and the ending of the show isn't usually like that first kiss. It's usually something like bigger or like more plot based. And that first kiss or them getting together is just like an added bonus that you get along the way. And then you get to watch them date for a little while. And I think that that's what makes me happy, is like I like watching the slice of life moment where the characters get to just learn about each other and live in their lives and, like I said, go on dates and go through hard times and struggle with each other and then find their way back. And I like that. And I think that there's not enough Western media that does romance in that way. Whereas I think when I got into anime, there was an abundance of content that handled romance in that way. And so it was really, really exciting for me, really good. And I think that's part of what set me up to like anime so much. And once I started liking anime, then I started liking manga, as you do, and I started liking like manhwa and manhwa and donghua and K-dramas and C-dramas and J-dramas and Thai dramas and Taiwanese dramas. But once I really got into anime, I watched a lot of anime really fast, really quick. And after that, past that point, I don't know, it was just kind of something that I really spent a lot of time doing and something that I enjoyed doing for myself. And once I did that, then I started to naturally pick up some of the language. And once I picked up some of the language, I was actively learning about the culture because it fascinated me. And then I just ended up loving it. It just ended up being like a crucial part of my life. And I think that it is scary sometimes to say that anime is what got me into liking the Japanese things. And I don't think it's entirely true. When I was a kid, and I do mean like young, like don't remember it young, I do remember wanting to learn how to speak Japanese. And I just remember having this thought, and I was like, I bet everybody thinks Japan is just the coolest. I think everybody just thinks that Japan is the coolest place. And then the more I learned about the fact that not everybody thinks that, the more I was inclined to step away from it. And so I never end up trying to teach myself Japanese, in part because it was overwhelming. There was a lot of letters. It's a different language. It's a different writing system. It was scary. And I was afraid of a lot of things. And so I didn't do it then. And I didn't do it when I was a kid. And then I got into anime when I was older. And so while I think that I liked Japan and Japanese culture and like things along that line, since I was little, I think that I didn't really start to engage with it until I reintroduced myself to it through anime. And so it's like weird, because how do you tell people that like, oh yeah, I like Japan because I like anime, when that's not it at all? I like Japan because I think there's something really beautiful about the culture and the art history and the Buddhist and Shino, like Shintoism kind of roots that it all comes from, and the politeness and the way that the culture interacts with each other and the way that they treat nature. And that's what I like about Japan. And that's what I like about the culture. But it's really weird to try and introduce it to someone to say, oh yeah, I like all those things, but I like all those things because first I liked anime. And I think that's what catches me off guard a little bit, is like, I'll like talk about what anime I like and what dramas I like, and I'll talk about the manga I'm reading, and oh, I like BL, and oh, this, that, and the other thing. And like, I think it's easy for people to get lost in the shuffle that maybe I don't appreciate the culture as it is. And I don't think that's true. And I don't know how to prove that, but I'm trying. And I don't know, I think that's enough. I think the fact that I'm learning more about the culture and about the history and all that, I think that that's kind of a good step to take. That's a good first step to take in terms of like getting on board with my things, right? I don't know. It's kind of an interesting conversation to have, and obviously I'm just spitballing, but there's something quite different about learning to like a culture or like learning about a culture compared to almost any other thing. Because there's always a fear that something bad is going to happen to you because you like that culture, that thing, or maybe someone won't accept the fact that you like that culture for XYZ reason. You're just a Koreaboo or this or that or the other thing. And whereas if you just like trains, or you just like airplanes, or you just like Legos, you just like cars, you just like books, like it's easier and there's less fear involved. And I think that's really sad. It's really sad. And there's nothing I can do about it other than prove that it's possible to appreciate a culture for the culture and not for any other reason. So yeah, that was my rant on kind of nonsense. We'll have something to drink now that I've ranted. Let's see, what is there really to say? I don't know that I have a lot more to say. If you're here hanging out with me now, either live or watching the VOD, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chilling with me. I hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. It's been about an hour and a half, hour and 15, I guess. And so, thanks for hanging out with me. If you were new to chat today, thanks for popping in. If you're new to watching the video, feel free to leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. Yeah, I feel like that's the tea. I don't know. We could keep going through my anime list. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Ah, yes. Yuri on Ice is where I left off. Okay. Yuri on Ice. Drama. Yuri on Ice is so good. Yuri on Ice is so good, and Ice Adolescence is never going to come out. And we all know it's true. They've been sending out those teasers for years. It's never going to happen. And it makes me so sad, because the show was so good, and the teaser looked so good, and it's never gonna come out. Mappa, what are you doing? Mappa, what are you doing? You have gold right in front of you. Stop trying to make new shows and give us Ice Adolescence. It makes me so sad. Bro, I just want to see baby Victor. Is that too much to ask for? But yes, Yuri on Ice is TBH what got me into ice skating, because I was like, wow, that's incredible. I want to do that. And then I did. Actually, that's not the whole story. The whole story is that my friend watched Yuri on Ice, and she went, wow, I want to do that. That looks so cool. And then she did. And then she sent me a pair of skates, and then I did, and now I still do it. I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm able to go out there and have fun. Thursdays are usually, for the summer at least, my go out and skate days. But obviously, I'm not there today. It just didn't work out today, but that's all right. Though it would be really cool if I was skating. Yeah, Yuri on Ice, man. Yuri on Ice has my heart. Yuri and Victor are so stinking adorable together. They are like the pinnacle of like overcoming trauma and like overcoming insecurity with each other. And it's not just Yuri going like, oh, I'm a bad skater, oh, I'm a failure. It's also Victor like trying to get over the insecurity and like the fear of like always having to be the best. And I think that's part of what gets me about their couple and about that ship in particular, is just that they are able to like, I don't know, help each other so much, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. I think that's really beautiful, and I think that's something that I really strive for in like reading or watching relationships, is like the characters better each other for the majority of the show. And maybe not at the beginning, maybe not at the end, but like the middle, there's like some sort of growth that goes on because of the relationship. And I think that Dame does that really well, and I think anime usually does that pretty well. And it's nice. That's so nice. I don't know. I'm just a baby for romance. I love romance. I love love. Speaking of love, I hated Kimi ni Todoke. I hated it. I thought it was frustrating and unsatisfying, and like, oh, they didn't get together until the end. It was 2 seasons, and I was like, dude, this is everything I'm against. But I watched the whole thing. I watched Umebe no Stranger by the Sea or whatever, and it was fine. Like, I don't know that it was like 100% the best thing I'd ever watched, but it was all right. I think that counts for something. Let's see. Ancient Mage's Bride, Arifureta. Hyperventilation. Hyperventilation's Korean, and it's based off of a manhwa, and I read the manhwa first, and then I watched Hyperventilation. I thought it was fine. Then I went and watched the Violet Evergarden movie, and then I watched K-On!, and I did not like K-On!. This is tea. As a slice of life person who likes music anime, generally, you would have thought I would have loved K-On! Because all it is cute girls doing cute things, and I hated it because all it was cute girls doing cute things, and it was so moe. And everybody I talked to was like, it's not moe. I was like, it's moe. It's moe, and it's from KyoAni, and it was so moe. And I thought it was bad. I did not like. So that was my drama with K-On! I did watch the whole thing, and then I think there was a second season, and I probably watched that, and then I think I also watched the movie, and I didn't like any of it. But I watched all of the content for K-On! That was out at the time, and I thought it was tolerable. I really enjoyed Bloom Into You, so much so that I bought the manga. It is a Yuri love story, which means it's GL, or like girls love. I thought the ending was a little underwhelming, but I thought that the show was really good. I thought the characters were really good to each other. I thought that the drama that happened was really good. I recommend it, generally. I don't know if it's the strongest Yuri. I don't read or watch a lot of GL. It's not my flavor, but I did think Bloom Into You was really good. And I watched Horimiya, and I love Horimiya. I'm such a Horimiya person. And then I watched Skate the Infinity, and I'm such a Skate the Infinity person. Oh my god. Dude, Skate the Infinity. If you haven't watched Skate the Infinity, again, I will say it again, leave. Turn this off and go do that, because it's so good. I watched it in one night. I was screaming. I was watching as the internet had a fucking meltdown over the whole English dub, but also everything that ever happened. I didn't watch it as it aired, but I watched it kind of immediately after. I wasn't in my watching shows as they air phase yet. That happened after. Now I'm in that phase, and now I watch a lot of shows as they air, which is honestly kind of worse because I don't watch a lot of shows when they're not airing now, which is sad because I love watching TV, obviously. I watched Tonikaku Kawaii. I didn't like it. People loved it. I didn't like it very much. Am I a bad person for that? Maybe. But what you gonna say? That's the truth. Then I watched Free, and I hated Free. Bro, I'm such a KyoAni bitch, and I didn't like Free, and I didn't like K-On! And I was like, what is this? It's a bunch of garbage. I didn't like Free. I thought it was boring. I only watched the first season. I'm usually like I'll give all the seasons a chance type of person, but I hated it so much that I just gave up. And I'm never like that. I never just give up on stuff, but I gave up on it. Then I watched TGCF. We already know how I feel about that. I think I've watched it 3 or 4 times now. So good. So good. Oh, I need to read it. I really need to read it. Again. Well, I can't even say I need to read it. I've already read it like once, and now I'm on my second time reading it, but I love it. When I went through the first time, I wrote down all the chapters that I wanted to read again. That's how obsessed with it I was I was already planning the next time I would read it. And now I'm reading it again, and I have the newest volume, and I haven't reread it yet, which is drama. That's so rude of me, that I'm so close and so far. I watched The World God Only Knows. It was good. I liked the music. It was fine. I watched Golden Time, didn't love it. Watched Smile Down the Runway, did kind of enjoy it. It's a little bit, like, underloved, I'd say. Watched Children of the Sea. Oh my god, Children of the Sea was like, it was like what I imagined taking drugs to be like. Because it was like so beautiful, and yet I had no idea what was going on. It was like crazy, but I still listened to some of the music, just because the music was really good. They really popped out a soundtrack for that one, let me tell you. Because I'm pretty sure it was like written by someone like good. Like I want to say that the album was done by like Joe Hisaishi or something. I think it was. Yeah, I think I'm right. But it was good. I still listen to that soundtrack. So that's the thing, is I don't need to love the show to listen to the soundtrack. But if I love the show, I will listen to the soundtrack. That's like how it works. And that's really backwards of me, I guess, is that I just love OSTs. I just dropped my hair tie. Instead of buying fidget toys, I just use hair ties and I like twist them up. So if my hands are ever moving, that's what's happening. Where was I? Children of the Sea, crazy, absolutely batshit. I'm skipping a lot of the shows, by the way. Say I Love You, I thought it was good. I just really liked it. And then I started collecting the manga, and I was reading the manga, and it's the same thing, and I didn't like the manga. So I don't know what happened between me watching the anime and reading the manga, but I kind of like slowed down collecting the manga because I'm like, I don't love this. Dokyusei, my babies, my darlings, my beloved. They have a famous, like, real sound now, and it's shit. I don't remember the rest of the words, but it's so cute. They're so cute. I love them. And they have that really good scene where it's like, oh, they're precious baby loves. Children of the Whales, I don't remember the plot, but I remember liking the characters, and I remember liking the music to a certain extent. And I remember, like, being interested in watching the whole show. I should actually look into what happened. That was supposed to get a season 2. I wonder if that still is. Actually, that's something we can Google right now. Children... Nope, that's not the name of the show. Children of the Whales? Well, what the hell is the name of the show? Children of the Whales. I was right. Children of the Whale. Season 2. Oh. I guess they never confirmed that there was going to be a season 2. Well, maybe they did. This is from May 11th, and it says that there is. Okay, well, this source seems to be lying to me because it doesn't confirm it anywhere. I don't think it'll get a season 2, which is really sad, because I actually wanted to see what happened, and I don't really want to buy the manga. I didn't love it that much. Like, there's a certain amount of love that you have to have for a show to buy the manga, and I just didn't. Wasn't there, man. It didn't get there. But that's alright. Let's see, what else have I watched that I think I could mention? Number six. Number six, I liked it a lot, which is like really silly of me because I've said it before. I don't like the action adventure, and this was kind of a little bit action adventure, but I thought it was good. I was here for it, which is like unusual, but I bought the manga too because I liked it that much. I just thought that the two main characters were really cute. They weren't like super datey, like they weren't super like romantically involved, but they were just cute with each other, and sometimes that's enough. I thought that like the side couples were really cute, or not even side couples, just like the side characters. They were really cute, and I thought the plot was kind of interesting. Then I watched MDZS, and I don't even need to mention how I felt about MDZS. It was great. Especially the third season. That third season hit. That third season, whoa, banger. It was like they really ramped up everything that was going on in the second season. In the second season and the first season. And they went, what if we had hand touching and red robes, and they bow, and also they move food from one person's plate to the other. And I was like, yes! Yes! I was so happy. So that was really exciting. Let's see, what else? Well, that's about halfway through my list. So maybe we pause there for today, and so I have something to talk about next stream. We could do a little bit more doodling for a little while, and then maybe end stream in like 30 minutes. So let's switch ourselves over to drawing. Actually, we're gonna have a little drink first. Stay hydrated. If you haven't been drinking your water this whole time, hydration time. I'll have a sip of this, and then I have like half a sip of water. Can you see that? Yeah. So we'll finish that too. Nice. Productive. Remember, kids, count your ounces. How much water have you drank today? Was it enough? Come on, be honest. I don't know that I have a lot to say, but if anybody has any questions, I'd be so chill to answer those. Other than that, we're just gonna kind of have a chill little bit for here from now on. I also wish that I could hear the music that you guys can hear, because I am playing such a good song. It's been playing this whole time, kind of. I've been alternating. And so if you like the music, you are correct. You know what music I've been obsessed with lately? OK Goodnight just released a new album, and I love OK Goodnight, and they're on a North American tour, and they're actually kind of going to be near me. And I wish that I could go because I love them. And I've been obsessed with their music since their second album. And so I'm a little bit sad that I'm probably not going to be going to this concert. But that's all right. It's just, okay. So if you want a little bit of a taste of like the luck that I have in my life, I love I love a lot of bands, but there's a few bands that I'd be like, wow, I wish I could see them in person. And that's one OK Rock, Radwimps, and OK Goodnight are like my main squeeze. All of them in the past year have gone on tour and come just close enough to me that I feel like I would be able to go, but just far enough away from me that it's not a realistic possibility, or just timed incorrectly enough that I couldn't be able to go. And it's been really honestly depressing because I love those bands so much and I've loved them for years, and I can't go see them even though they're right there. And so if you ever wanted like a taste of what it's like to have my terrible, awful bad luck, that's that. My bad luck is so bad that my friends won't do Genshin. I don't let my friends do Genshin pulls around me because I will mess up their like pull. I don't know what it is. I just have horrible bad luck. And it's been like several months since we really started taking note of this. Of course, we don't do anything about it because what are you going to do about it? But it is a little bit sad. It's like I would try and go anywhere and I would need to take the light rail. Fine. I never had any problems with the light rail in the fall semester. But in the spring semester, when I would go to take the light rail, it would be closed. Or like, it would be like, oh, the track that you want is closed. Or it'd be like, oh, you can't go to this station, you have to walk to another station. Or it'd be like, oh, well, those trains aren't stopping at your stop right now. And so it was just like all these issues just like stockpiled of why I couldn't go on this one track. And I was like, this is kind of ridiculous because it was like months. And I was like, this is my fault. I haven't done anything, but like I have that awful bad luck. And so it's my fault. And so then when we'd bring my friend with me to the light rail, guess what was open? Guess what we didn't have any problems doing? She's like, I think you're the problem. I was like, I also think I am the problem, yes. We love a good unrealistic figure in this house. The less realism, the better. This shadow also needs to cut over a good solid few centimeters. Yeah, see, look, we're all chilling. I like how the last message we had in chat is, am I shadow banned? And the answer was no, and then they didn't do anything about it. I love that for them, honestly. That's a leg. Look at that. That's a leg. But yeah, okay, good night. Literally, I feel like I have the songs from their new album playing in my head the whole time. Like, obsessively. So good. I've never drawn hair worse in my life. What the heck was that? Let's just give him a little head, first of all, and zoom out and look at the proportions. They're fine. The proportions are proportioning just fine. I wish this would cut up a little more. But beggars can't be choosers, and I understand that. Look, that looks great. And by great, I mean fine. I do feel like he's a little tall, so we can fix that. Like, that's probably a little better. Link is just a little short. It's not his fault. Some of us are vertically challenged. I don't consider myself one of those people, but some of us are, and that's okay. He's allowed to be short. We'll love him anyways. I actually think it's really funny how short he is. Like, where did they even find Gerudo clothes in Breath of the Wild that fit him? Because the Gerudo women are not that small. Like, do you think that the guy he bought them from was just like saving them for like a child or something? Because, like, even if you consider, like, men that would buy those clothes to get into Gerudo Valley, like, you wouldn't think that, like, short-ass Link is gonna be the person. He looks sick. Give him his other ear. Oh my gosh, he looks sick as hell. We'd love him. I feel like his eyes could be a little bit, yeah, like that. Where he's not like staring into our souls, but you know. There are worse, I have drawn worse things. I have drawn worse things. I also kind of wonder if you can hear my pen tap, 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 tapping. I think you can, but I don't think it's that spiky. Probably hang out for another 15 minutes or so and then call it good today. I don't think we're gonna get to coloring this, but that's all right. I can wait for another day. I also obviously have some adjustments to make in terms of all of it, but that's also okay. Art is a process, especially if you're me and you're not good at it. Oh yeah, that helps. Yeah. I feel like his fingers look really big now, but I feel like that's also like the size of fingers, so maybe it's not as much of an issue as I feel like it is. Sorry, I have not been checking chat. LOL was about to ask if you had a cat, but then realized the meowing was just my own. I do have a cat. Love the vibe in here, by the way. Really chill. Thanks. Bro, that is 100 times better than anything I could pull off. You're good. No. Okay, I'm glad the pen taps aren't bad because I feel like they're pretty noticeable. His neckline is intense right now. Like, it is dark all the way out, but that's still pretty intense for him. He's just a little boy. You don't need a neckline like that. That's better. I've been experimenting a lot with watercolor on Procreate, and so we might do something like that for this piece as well. I don't know yet. I also want to try chalking on Procreate, but I don't know that I have any good brushes, so I'd probably have to look for some brushes online. But he's just my little boy. Miki, do you play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? That'd be cool. I'm a sub so I can keep up with this. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna be in here every so often, just hanging out. Good vibes. Drawing or just chilling. Played Breath of the Wild, can't afford Tears yet. No worries. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Breath of the Wild had me in a chokehold for so long. Like, it was actually like not good. My friends all know the whole story of Breath of the Wild, even though they've never played it, because I just would tell them the whole story of Breath of the Wild. And they never played it. But now I want to get them to play it, so I'm like, you need to forget what I told you so that you can experience it. I'm already spoiled on it, been watching videos on it after work. Fair enough. I understand. I don't know that I'd be able to wait, so I'm lucky that I was able to afford it well, actually it was a Christmas gift, so I can't even say that I afforded it. It was just a Christmas gift for me. But I was so happy. I got the fancy new Switch as a part of the Christmas gift as well. And so I have the nice gold Switch, and it makes me very happy. It gives me serotonin. Breath of the Wild was the same for me. Yeah. I didn't play it immediately after it came out. I had played some Zelda games. I'd played Wind Waker prior, but I hadn't done too much. And then I played Breath of the Wild, and suddenly I could do nothing else. And that's how I knew that I was a Zelda fan for life. I feel like I can't decide if I want to put in his like arrows and stuff, because that's a lot to draw. My Switch is basic as heck. I think it was the first one that came out. My 3DS XL is the limited edition Zelda one. The Switch that I traded in for the new one was the original edition, like very first one that came out as well. So I completely understand. Your 3DS being the limited edition Zelda one is so cool though. My 3DS was basic. It was pink. Now I don't even think it works anymore, which is a little sad. I played a lot of like Nintendogs and cats on that. But I played, we had a Wii U, and that's where I played Wind Waker, which is, I can't believe we ever had a Wii U. The Wii U is such a fever dream to me that it existed at all is wild. Wish I could link pics here. It's so pretty and golden. Wow, I'll have to Google it. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to attach pics on YouTube chat, but that would be cool. That would be a nice feature. Yeah, I had a very basic 3DS. We had like the basic consoles. This was the first time I've ever upgraded a console. My brother has gotten upgrades for his PS whatever number and his Xboxes, but this is the first time I've ever gotten a console upgrade, and it was so exciting for me because I'd never had anything that exciting. It was so new. It's still so shiny. I feel like he looks a little sad, but that's all right. He could be a little sad in this version of this artwork. That's nice. Upgrades always feel so good. It's like a whole new device when you get an upgrade, especially from like the most basic original one where like my battery life had really gotten messed up, and so I couldn't go more than 2 hours without charging. And this one, I can go like a whole week without having to plug it back in. He's not sad, he's just shy about being on stream probably. That's true. I think it doesn't help that I gave him little blushies. I think that probably made it worse, but that's okay. I think it's cute. Yeah. Let's see, what else? I don't know, I'll add color next time. I just like adding lines. I like lines and dots. Yeah. Yeah, but I upgraded to the OLED in the screen. I play almost entirely handheld just because I don't have anywhere to plug in the Switch. So the screen was a nice upgrade for me to the OLED screen, and the backrest is a nice upgrade because I set it up on desks a lot. So it was definitely for me a much appreciated upgrade on that device. It's been nice. I could do with the background as well. I actually like the background of the original photo. I didn't even think about the battery life on the Switch, TBH. I only use my 3D computer monitor for it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to even hook mine up to my computer, so I have no way of charging and playing unless I'm charging and playing, which is a little bit frustrating sometimes, I think. So I don't do it very often. I like to take breaks while it charges. I definitely also gave him a very strong chin. I think I could pare that down a little. Yeah, that helped. I mean, I think it made him look sadder, but that's okay. Can't you just use the dock and put the HDMI into the monitor? Can you? That's crazy. I guess you can. I guess that makes sense. I've never tried, clearly. Hey, how's it going? Hey, it's going great. Welcome in. How are you doing today? How's you doing? I am just doodling a little bit, chilling. I don't even know. What is this, actually? Why does it stick out? It's just like a tassel. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah. That's what I did. I used DisplayPort for my PC and a separate HDMI cable for the Switch. Gotcha. Yeah, my setup's a little scuffed because I do everything from a laptop, and so it's a little bit more scuffed than that. But that makes sense. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I just usually play handheld, or with like the Switch sitting up and with the Joy-Cons in my hands. Yeah. The stream setup I've got going on right now is actually like so scuffed because my laptop is a Mac, and so I don't have any like USB ports, and so my iPad is plugged in to a USB to Lightning cable adapter, and my phone is wirelessly the webcam. So it's all a little scuffed, but that's all right. It works. I felt pretty smart when I figured out I could use the phone as a webcam. That was very exciting for me. I also feel like This leg is just not doing things for me that I wish they were doing. Probably because this whole thing is meant to be a leg, and that's not how I colored it. I have 3 monitors, 2 horizontal and 1 vertical for reading. I'm such a geek. I wish I had a vertical monitor. I love reading on my laptop. I do both novels and fan fiction on my laptop, so I get a lot of reading use out of it. Though I will say, I think I would not do it as much if it meant that I couldn't sit on the couch and read at the same time, because that is what I do a lot of the time. What's your favorite book series? So it's a little bit underground, so not a lot of people know it, but Heaven Official's Blessing, or I just refer to it as TGCF from the Chinese name, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Actually, probably an 11 out of 10. That book had me in a chokehold when I read it the first time. But I also read a lot of manga. So I own a lot of physical manga because I don't like reading manga on the laptop as much. I've also done a lot of the YA, dystopian type beat. Pretty typical, type of books, but I don't know, I just like to be transported to another world, really, is what I like from books. And I also like romance. I love love. There we go. That solves my problems that I created for myself. Now I just need to solve the problems I created by solving that problem. It's an endless cycle. There we go. Right now that looks really long, but we can all live with that. There we go. Look at that. His hand still looks really big to me, but I feel like people are supposed to have big hands. Well, not that big. It looks like he has a glove on. It's fine. I feel the same about being transported to another world through books. I'm such a sucker for fantasy stuff, mostly magic and the like. Yeah, I love fantasy stuff as well. I read the Wings series and stuff like that. High fantasy and low fantasy. I get down with both. I just like to be, I don't know, in another world, like you said, like we're saying. It's nice. That's part of what I like. It's part of why I like Breath of the Wild so much, is I think that it, more than any other game I've really played, is able to just put me in this different world. I don't know. It's so peaceful. I've heard people describe it as a Ghibli movie as a game, and I think that that's a really good way to put it, because there's just a certain peace. Ever read The Spook's Apprentice? No. Still a guilty pleasure from my teenage years. No, but I will write it down. I take recommendations. I can't promise I'll get to it anytime soon, but I can promise that I will look into it eventually. Yeah, I always take recommendations, or at least give them a good, honest look into, because I think if people have a favorite book or series, then there's a reason for it, and that I should look into it too, because I'm oftentimes more likely to like something if other people also like it, because it means that it's come highly recommended. That's how I've gotten a lot of my favorite books or series or TV shows, is from people who told me they liked them. His hand still looks huge. Maybe it's this part that's giving me grief. That might be it. That didn't help all as much as I wanted it to, but that's okay. Don't get your hopes up. I discovered it when I was very early teens. Might be a bit childish for my age now when I think about it. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with reading childish books. I still read a lot of the books from my childhood. For example, The Selection. I read the selection like at least once a year. And I've read it when I was like very early teens, like you said. There's just something about it. The vibes are so good. In case you were wondering what we're drinking today, I already finished my cup of water, and now we are having white tea raspberry. I have to drink a certain amount of ounces because of my medical conditions, and so I always make sure to have both multiple drinks, and I'm tracking my ounces. So this was 16 ounces, and this will be 17 ounces, which is pretty good for about halfway through the day. I guess we're a lot past halfway through the day, but from the time I woke up to the time I'll go to bed, this is about halfway. I know, right? I still read Harry Potter when I feel like huddling up with a blanket and just chill. Yes, exactly. It's like there's certain books that are probably 50% good books and 50% nostalgia. And I think like for me, Divergent and Hunger Games and the selection, they all hit both targets where I'm like, I feel like this is a good book, but also it's just like warm and fuzzy. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy because it reminds me of a time when I was happy and the world was simple. Divergent, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I was a Divergent child for sure. The movies were awful, but I still watched them all. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the little progress we've made on this today. We've actually been pretty productive. Yeah, we don't talk about the movies. Like 90% of the books that get movie adaptations, no need to comment. No need to comment. Divergent is definitely one of those. But look, we did a whole doodle today. I'm very impressed. Yesterday we were not productive. But today we got through a whole stream starting soon screen and the doodle. So that's pretty impressive. It's pretty good. I could start mapping out the background. Lord of the Rings is a good exception to that rule though. The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, both of those like movie series, they crushed. They really said they should be faithful. And then they were, and it was so good. I think part of it is like, they are just faithful. And I think that makes a big difference. It makes a big difference in how you perceive an adaptation. Is if it reminds you of the book that you read and the world you envisioned in your head. Because sometimes if I read something and I'm imagining the world in my head and then I go and watch a show or a movie or a comic or whatever, and it's not the same, it can be a little bit like confusing almost, because I'm like, this isn't what I remember reading. And part of it's just because they didn't accurately depict the world that you had in your head. Rock. Tree. That's gonna be the tree. Just no more effort goes into the tree. The background, the character, they got like more detail, but not the tree. Trees can get brush detail, but trees do not deserve my time. Yeah, I actually like the background of the original, so I don't mind keeping it the same. Yeah, there's always going to be small differences though, so it's good to not get too hung up on the image you had in your mind at times. Absolutely. I just think that there's like a difference between, oh, I imagine this character had curly hair and it's dark hair and they have dark eyes, and then you watch the movie and you're like, that's not right. Why are they blonde? But I agree for the most part. There has to be a certain level of like different interpretations. But I think it's more so than the exact image fitting your head. It's the vibes of the place. The vibes of a place or a person. If it's like totally different or totally off, then I think that more so than it looking similar or looking different, that can be the make or break moment. Yeah, I'm not putting any more effort into those trees. Not today. Not today. He does get a few blades of grass in front of him as well. Good for him. Good for Link. And some flowers, but I can add those with a brush, so I don't have to draw them. Yay! I'm gonna leave the background lines that are behind him for now, just so I can use them as a guide, but whoa, unnecessary. They can go behind him and not in front of him. Awesome, I feel like we made a lot of progress on that version of Link today. Nice. Yesterday, we just got a lot of chatting done and not a lot of drawing or prepping, and so we didn't do as much yesterday as we did today. But maybe next stream we will be able to do some coloring for that, and that'll be very exciting. Yay, looking good, thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out so far. I liked that screen cap of him, and so I was compelled to try and make it a reality. And I don't know that it's exactly the same, but it's definitely more my style than it was when we started. So that's a good progress marker. All right, well, on that note, it has been about a 2-hour live stream, and I think that's where I'm gonna call it for today. I'm a little bit tired. I don't have a stream schedule yet. I'm just kind of going for it, but I hope that I will see you at another stream really soon. Just be sure to subscribe. If you're watching the VOD or you're still hanging out with me now, feel free to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and when you do subscribe, make sure to put on that bell so that you can get notifications when I go live or post a video. All right, thank you very much for hanging out today. I will see you all really